Hi guys! In today's video, you're going to learn how to design in this type of 3D glass botanical style. At a first glance, it seems super hard, but it's actually easier than you can imagine, and the secret is all in the photo filter adjustments. This design style embodies a sort of modern digital aesthetic, blending 3D glass morphism and digital-inspired elements. It often features transparent or 3D metallic elements that create a surreal and dreamlike effect, and it also uses a lot of gradient backgrounds for a little bit of depth. This is heavily influenced by cyberpunk culture, sci-fi themes, and often glitch art or pixel art, making it a popular choice for maybe a experimental branding or editorial visuals, or just art projects that explore the intersection of technology, nature, and digital modernism. After you open the editor, first thing you need to do is find your flowers. Kittl has a lot of botanical elements that you can just take it and use it on your own designs, but you can also generate yours if you want, or even grab a pre-made one from the Kittl AI image tab, like this one I found, and it's honestly just perfect for this tutorial. We just need to delete the background and we're done. We can use those elements. Okay, now that we have our flowers, it's time to grab our gradients, and if you search gradients on the images tab, you're going to find the most beautiful gradients ever, so this won't be an issue either. I mean, if you have your own gradient or want to create your own gradient, feel free to do so, but for this tutorial, we're just going to borrow some gradients from stock images and set them as our background. Okay, now let's start with this blue flower. Honestly, two of the flowers we have here are more chrome and the other two have a more of a glass effect. This one is clearly chromy, is more opaque, but I had to add it here because it just looks amazing as well. Now we're just going to open the photo filter panel and start adjusting our image. Now these settings will depend on what type of image you have, of course, and what you actually want to achieve. I sincerely want a sort of retro futuristic vibe here. The idea was to make the flower subtly blend with the background, so instead of making the colors pop, I muted the colors a little bit. I decreased the brightness, the contrast, the saturation. I didn't adjust the hue a lot, but we're going to go back to this in the next designs. Alright, the flower looks good, and we're going to apply the same concept for the rest of the designs basically. Now it's time for the text. This is optional, of course, but for this design style, you'll want to choose a sort of display serif font. There's so many beautiful fonts like this in Kittl that I had a hard time choosing one, but I ended up going with the font Malin Fencila because the swashes kind of reminded me of some flower branches. It looks really nice. It's very pretty. And here I want to intertwine the text with the flower, and we're going to do this by duplicating the text. And once you have two identical texts in the same exact position, you're going to send one of the texts all the way to the back and the other one to the front. Then you rasterize the one on the top by clicking on the eraser button. Then you can just erase the parts that you want the plant to overlap. Simple as that, and it looks really nice. Now it's time for texture, for a glassy effect. As I said earlier, this one particular plant is not very glassy. The next one is definitely more glassy, but this one is still very cool. Anyways, if you look for the abstract metal textures, there's some of them that can be used as glass textures as well. And we're going to mask the texture so it only applies to the elements and then adjust the blending mode and opacity. You can also adjust the opacity of the flower itself, of the element, if you want. Okay, this looks pretty cool. Now let's go ahead and basically do the same for the next ones. Gradient background, photo filter adjustment, text, and texture. Notice how I used the hue a little bit more here. The flower went from a sort of purple and blue mix to a green and pink tone. It was personal. I honestly just felt like these colors looked more harmonious with the background. Okay, again, basically gradient background, photo filter adjustment, text, and texture. So we have here 4 really nice versions of the same design style, of the same design, I would say actually. It's done, okay? What you're seeing here, it's basically ready. This next step is optional again, but I like my design's texture. So what I'm gonna do here is, I'm going to save all of these. I'm going to export as a JPEG or a PNG, and I'm going to add them to the project again as an image and add them to artboards. And then I'm going to apply another layer of texture on top. This time a grainy one. Make sure the mask texture box is not selected, otherwise you probably won't be able to see your texture. Okay, now that we've applied the texture to each one of them, I know this is not a design style that we see very often outside digital, I think, but let's see how it looks on some mock-ups. Why not? Maybe a sticker? I think that looks pretty cool, actually. Or maybe a coaster? Is this something you would have in your house? Like, is this something you would decorate your home with? Honestly, I would. It's quite postmodern, right? I don't know, the colors and I think it's like a mix of retrofuturism with postmodern if you have like the right textures. Oh, I like this. And this was our 3D glass botanical design. Let us know in the comments, what do you guys think of this design style? Do you like it? Do you not? Are you going to try to design something similar? Do you think that's the future of design? Are we heading to a more high-tech and sci-fi design? Or are we pushing backwards a little bit and heading towards that retro nostalgic feeling? I feel like that's a good discussion, so let's debate that in the comments. If you like this video, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel for more design tips, design trends, tutorials, everything design related you're going to find here. And make sure you check out our other socials: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, you name it, we're there. We're there discussing design. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.